Good evening, everyone. Today we are having another session with Srinivasan sir. Let us start, sir. Over to you, sir. I will be in backstage if you need anything.
Namaskaram. Sarasvati Namastubhyam Varde Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishyami Siddhir Bhavata Mesada. And the background image shows the sites of the civilization, major sites. They extend from Lothal, Dhalavira in Gujarat, through Kalibangan, Mohenjo-daro, Chanhu-daro, Harappa, Kalibangan, Rakigadi, right up to Sinauli, Uttar Pradesh. From Gujarat to Uttar Pradesh through Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab, the Sapta-Sindhu region. It's important to remember this because the background shows how the people moved from the downstream of the Saraswati river upstream as it was drying up. We have seen the reasons why the desiccation took place. Most of the major reasons are tectonic disturbances, resulting in the tributary rivers migrating and Himalayan waters slowing down. Now we will start the presentation. So we have seen the anthropomorph on the grapheme of the coffin found in Sinauli. It was also found with a Sinauli copper sword and a remarkable picture of the anthropomorph. See, when assuming for the sake of argument that the rating system was only symbolic without any underlying language, we should realize that the people in this region in 2600 archaeological sites should have been speaking some language. So how did they interpret the symbols in their spoken lingua franca? So the idea of the decipherment is to understand the decipherment of the lingua franca of this civilization, of the people who created these images, even if they were creating these symbols only as symbolic representations, but what are these symbols interpreted by the people? How are they viewed? I think we have got reason to recreate the meanings based on the present day languages, which are remembered memories of the past. Be they the language of Gujarati, or Sindhi, or even Urdu, or Vedic Prakritam, Pali, Hindi, Magadhi, Magadhi, and so on. So there are some claims that there are also people, Mundarika and Dravidian language speakers were also present in the region, because some of those words are also absorbed into other languages. But because the present consensus of the linguists is that it was a Spragbund, it's a speech area, a linguistic area where people speaking from different language families got together and absorbed words from one another and made them their own. That's the linguistic area. So that means there was the essential unity of all the present day languages in that time, at that point in time, when the Bronze Age was evolving, the Metal Age was evolving. You can a good example of the sword. The ficus leaf on the horns of the important person is showing a face. It's not a profile, it's a face. Muha. Mukha. Muha in Sinauli in Santali language means furnace produce. Muha. So it's signifying some kind of furnace produce. And the horns signify an important person. So a face of an important person, possibly a guild leader, guild master. The horns have got a particular name. It's like a buffalo horns. Tatar is a buffalo horn. So you could be a Tatar. You could be a brass worker. A Tatan, a goldsmith. Tatravadu in Telugu. So there are about 8 of these anthropomorphs have been found on the coffin, lined up. So they were trying something symbolized these Tatars. Who are the Tatars? They were working with ficus leaf. What is that ficus leaf? It's called Loha in Santali. Similar sounding word is Loha. So Loha, copper, metal, iron. So they were iron metal workers. 8 of them, 8 metal workers. Possibly dealing with 8 metals. And the body stature is shown with the face profile, with the shoulders very vividly shown on the image. Kati is a body stature. The similar sounding words are Kati wheelwright, Kati warrior. So he is a man with the horns, he is a warrior. And there will be, we will see that some of these visual symbols which are seen on the coffin also become symbols of the script. The script, text script of the writing system. They can be seen on seals. We'll go through them. So that means there is an evolution of a visual language, and the symbols not only were signified by this kind of pictorials, but they are also signified by the pictorials and the symbols themselves, which are called signs of a writing system. So they are putting together these pictures, picture words. Maybe they were signifying picture words. May not be alphabetical identification, maybe words themselves, like body stature Kati, similar sounding word Kati, wheelwright. So they were wheelwrights. They were able to make the Sinauli chariot. Okay? Now we will see how this progresses, and we can work backwards into the 9,300 inscriptions of the civilization found so far, recorded in 5 volumes, photographic volumes. We will see those pictures. We will see some comparable images appearing in a number of pictures on the seals, on the artifacts, and see how we can relate them to this language that is spoken. Because languages are very solid memory of the people which cannot be forgotten. The language that was spoken in the Vedic times is spoken even today. The language that was spoken in the Indus Valley civilization, Saraswati civilization days was spoken even today. So it is a very stable cultural framework of language. So let us look at the language of this region of Bharat altogether, because now we have to include Bharat as a whole. Recently we have found from Tamil Nadu, the antiquity of iron dates back to the 3rd millennium, 4th millennium BCE, 3450 BCE. Iron was smelted, iron equipment was made. There could have been suppliers of the iron into the Saraswati civilization. There could also be the artisans who were working with the Saraswati civilization area to create many artifacts. Okay. So let's look at it as one composite Bharatiya cultural civilization area. Next please. Now the stature of the person becomes a symbol. Say sign 1 of the script. It's a standing person with spread legs. We have seen in Sinauli a gold dancer with spread legs. Karana. He was having a posture. So he is signifying the word Karana. He is a scribe. He is a trader. Karana means trade. Karana means accounting. So Karana dance signifies Karana trade. Karana accounting. The spread legs in Atharva Veda, spread legs are signified by Karnika. Karnika, Karana trade. Karnika, a person on a boat, a steersman of a boat carrying cargo. So the trader with a cargo. So he could be a boatman. He could be a steersman with the spread legs. Karnika. That's quite possible. Then it also means Kati Tenkane, Kati stature, walk, is in a walking posture. The frame of the structure of the body with a one line, a stem or a trunk of a plant, Kati, and 2 arms, 2 spread legs. So this is the artistic feature. So we are now to go into artistic evaluation, artistic interpretation of this writing system, where very beautifully they were created in artifacts of the gold dancer or the sign on the induscript. You can call it the body stature, Kati. Sign number 1. Reverse sounding words, Shatru, carver. Kati, wheelwright. Kati, warrior. Then we call warrior also can be symbolized by having arrows at the back. Or it could be having a sword. Or it can also be merged together in the body with the the ficus leaf to signify that he is a Loha, is a warrior. Working with Loha. Symbol sounding Loha, copper, metal. So the golden anthropomorph of Sinauli is signifier of a dance step. He's not just made like that with only spread legs. He's a dancing step. Karna is a dance step. In Bhartruvar is Shastra. Symbol sounding is Karna, scribe, trade, accounting. Okay? Now, next please. So we are recapitulating, and we will go into the details as we go along. We have identified 11 types of anthropomorphs found at various times and from various sources of the civilization across time, across places. We are dealing with 2,060 archaeological sites. Of many of these sites, these have been picked up. The number of anthropomorphs have been found in the copper ore culture area of Ganga Yamuna Doab with ram's horns. One person with the right hand lifted up and again spread legs. Karnika, spread legs. That means you have some kind of a merchant. Medha is a Meadow is a merchant. Med is an iron metals merchant. He was also a boatman. So he was carrying these wares on boat as a merchant. And the lifted up right arm is Yaraka. Is uplifted arm. Yaraka means metal infusion. So he's working with infusion of metal into furnaces or smelters. So the Shivrajpur anthropomorph, as you have seen, with the fish sign on his chest of the anthropomorph, is Meadow, ram's horns, Meadow merchant, spread legs, Karnika steersman, and what if this fish symbolize? Ayo is fish, Iri is fish, Iri is iron in Tamil. Ayo is alloy metal in Rigveda. So something related to metal is signified by the fish sign. So a metal worker, a metal merchant, and working with a boat, carrying the cargo. So he's a merchant carrying the cargo. Then there's a remarkable anthropomorph found in Keri Gujar, which is now further amplified. The Shivrajpur anthropomorph with something on its head. The head is replaced by a Varaha, the boar. What is a Varaha? Badi is a Varaha, castrated boar. Badi also means a carved wood and iron worker. Okay? So an iron worker, wood worker, steersman, boatman. Then the anthropomorph of Sinauli, we have seen the dancer. Then we have seen the Sinauli coffin containing these 8 anthropomorphs, which we have seen is related to some kind of metal workers. Then we also found in the copper hoard, harpoons have been found with a face shown there. Again, face means mukha. Similar sounding word is mukha, furnace produce. Furnace produce, which resulted in the production of this harpoon. Okay. Then we get elaborated in the writing system seen in pectoral of Mohenjo-daro M1656, where now a new animal appears, unicorn, with clear parts dignified in front of a standard device. And on top of it, there is a kalasham, a pot with overflowing water. Kanda is pot. Low is overflow. Low kanda, overflowing pot. Low kanda is iron. Low kanda is metalware. So it's a metalware vehicle. Metalware is being carried as a cargo by this maritime merchant, signified by the unicorn and the standard device. We have gone through it again and again, we'll repeat it. We find a remarkable brass artifact from the Bactria Mariana archaeological culture. A double eagle is shown as a face of a standing person. So now that hero, the warrior, the carver, the kshatra, the metal worker is now shown with two eagles. What are two eagles? Sena, it's a thunderbolt. Sena is an eagle, hawk. Two of them, Dula, Dul. Dula is dual, duplicate, double. Dul means metal casting. The metal caster, Sena, metal caster, thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, metal caster. He's a blacksmith. Sena becomes Ahan. Ahangar is an ironsmith. He's a thunderbolt maker, Sena maker. Then a tiger is shown and also a boar is shown. You have seen about the boar on the top of the Anthropomorph of Keriguchar. Buddy, castrated boar, buddy, wooden iron worker. So wooden iron worker and then the tiger, jumping tiger. Tiger is Kul. Kula is foreman of a headman of a guild. Kul means working in iron. Kola. Kolami. Smithy forge. Kolhe, smelter. So a smelter, woodworker, iron worker, thunderbolt maker. Shown on this Bactria Margiana axe as a ritual object. So now we can see the eagles also on the beautiful tablets of indusscript, flying eagle. So eagle is very important because Sena. Sena also means thunderbolt. Thunderbolt maker. So this is how the visual portraitures can be analyzed artistically through a device of art analysis, art appreciation, to understand the words might have been spoken with the words the people of the times of the 4th millennium BC in that area. It could be Tamil, could be Pundarika, could be Prakritam, could be Ardhamagari, could be Marwadi, could be Sindhi, could be Gujarati, could be Tamil, could be Malayalam, or Bengali, or Santali. They have moved all over the place over a period of time, thousands of years. Okay, next please. Now you can see the picture of the 8 anthropomorphs on the coffin and compare them with the anthropomorphs that have been found in the Copper Ore culture. And then say that the words that are used in our languages may also signify, may have been used as words to understand the interpretation of the symbols. There's another word for the ficus leaf called pani. The ficus religiosa. Pani is a market or a merchant. Panikan is not only a merchant but also a teacher. An acharya is a fencing master. He teaches how to people should work with swords and sticks. Panikan is a Tamil word also mentioned in the Malayalam. So Panikan in Malayalam and also in Tamil also means a master builder. The master, major mason, carpenter. That's all. So as they were evolving, the talents of the people, artifice, started giving them different names. Carpenter, Taksha, Tachan, Tattar, working with brass worker, or with gold, goldsmith, and so on. So depending on the type of metal that you are working with and specializing in, you get a very specific name. So that's how the language evolution also takes place to signify words of very specific profession, specific artifice talent. Next, please. Now you see how the rating system gets evolved. We have this magnificent speech with the seal M296, M304 with a yogi seated, with the arms held out, wearing bangles and wrists. Karana, hand. He's a trader. He's having the buffalo horns, tatar. He's a goldsmith. And there are animals surrounding him. They are also part of the entire guild of workers. We see the rhinoceros, Ganda equipment. We see the wild buffalo, Arana, wild buffalo, bison. Similar sounding word, Arana, smithy, forge. We see the elephant, Iba, elephant. Ib, iron. Ibbo, merchant. Iron merchant. Then we see a jumping tiger. Chal is jump. Salika is village. Chal is a workshop. Jump. The tiger is Kul. Coal, working in iron. Coal, hey, smelter. So iron smelter. So iron smelter, working in a smithy and forge, creating equipment, merchandise, metals merchant. And then on top of it, there is also a description. We have seen that before. Now then on the bottom, there is a platform, there is a herrick, Airi, it's a herrick. Airi is iron, and so on. Then we see another seal, M296. The ficus leaf becomes a very major component in describing. Now he is describing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 leaves, 9 ficus leaves specifically. Why 9? Low, no, 9. Loha. 9. Loha. Loha is a reinforcement on semantics of the Loha. Copper, metal. Then there are profiles of the unicorn, where the neck is highlighted. Melka is the throat. Throat is highlighted. Melaka is company, joining, meeting. So copper company. Why? The single horn is called singin. Forward thrusting, spiny horn. Similar sounding word is singi, ornament goldsmith. So he is an ornament goldsmith working with gold and copper. And the ornament goldsmith company. Singin, Melaka. Singi, Melaka. Ornament goldsmith company. And there are also 2 rings, these chain links. Shrinkala. So now we can see how the visual presentations are very key components of conveyance of message. So in a decipherment, we cannot ignore these pictorials because they occupy a major part of the small space of the scene. There's something of great importance being communicated. To ignore them will be to ignore the importance of the message. It will be a failure in decipherment. Same thing applies to the seals or the writing on top with signs. The signs also are symbolic. They are also symbols, semiotic. Just as the horn is a symbol, the face of a tiger is a symbol, or the face of a unicorn is a symbol, the writing system also contains signs which are symbols. Man standing, man walking. Something looks like a crab or like a pincer. Something that looks like a rim of a pot. Something that looks like a fish. So they're all symbols, they're all signs. So a symbolic writing system is what we are dealing with. So one must understand the nature of the writing system to be able to clearly understand the context in which, the speech context in which these symbols evolved. So when the symbol got evolved, the engraver or the Shatru should have had some idea at the back of his mind, which should have been a compilation of his own language, words that he was imagining and creating this image. So that's art appreciation. So we cannot ignore the artistry, the orthography of the writing system to be able to successfully decipher the Indus script. Okay? Then we will see a number of instances, examples of repeatedly again and again referring to the pictorial nature of the writing system. Next, please. Look at this seal M296, so beautiful. One of the finest pieces of artistry, art appreciation. And then also the writing script, the symbols have been used for writing it as text script. We can read through every one of these symbols. Semiotics can be explained. Sanketa Bhasha, Samnya Bhasha, Merchita Vikalpa. Alternative system of representing meaning, representing words, representing spoken words, or imagined symbols. interpretation of those ideas. Ideas can also be there. Words which are used in their normal conversation might also have been there. So we are looking at the conversational words which are found from all the languages of our country. Oriya, Tamil, Telugu, Prakritam, Landa, Awadhi, Bihari, Hindi, Lohar, Lohala. Look at the important given to the two links on the chain, emanating from that structure. Lohala is a principal link in the chain, Oriya. Lohakara, iron worker. Lohala. Lohakara, Vitopadesham. Pali, Lohakara, coppersmith, ironsmith. Prakritam, Lohara, blacksmith. Luharu, Sindhi. Lohar, Landa, Punjabi. Luhar, Western Prahari, Luhar. Komoni, Luhar. Nepali, Bengali, Lohar. Oriya, Lohala. Bihari, Bhojpuri, Awadhi, Lohar. Hindi, Lohar. Luhar. Gujarati, Lavar. Marathi, Lohar. Sindhi, Lovaru. Sinhala, Lovaru. Coppersmith. Lohakara, Loha. Blacksmith. Lohari is his wife. Garwali, Loar. From the comparative dictionary of Indo-Aryan languages. Look at this. Lohala in Oriya is an ironsmith. Lohala is the principal link of a chain. So ironsmith is being recorded on the seal M296. Working with variety of alloy metals. Loha. And in the bottom also, we can read the script. By again interpreting them as semiotic symbols. Okay. Next, please. So the exercise is to go through visuals as a writing system. Now we have got this word. There will be some word associated with this word in their spoken tongue. When the warriors use these words, what was it called? Possibly a Kannada. Perhaps the same as into a non-Aryan word, Kadga. Prakritam, Kanda, sword. Tamil, Kandam, Kandam. Gypsy language, Kaja, Kandro, Karno, Kanla, Kenli. Hindi, Kanak. Punjabi, Kanda. Kumoni, Kand. Nepali, Kando, Kundo. Assamese, Kanda, heavy knife. Bihari, Kanda, large sacrificial knife. Kanda, sword, Oriya. Kanda, in the Hindi. Kandu, Gujarati. Kanda, sword, in the Marathi. Kaduva, Sinalis, Khadga, sword. Kandaka, Khadga, sword, Pali and Prakrit. Bengali, Khag. Sinhala, Kaga. So look at this. The sword would have had some word at that point in time, whatever word was at that point in time. But there was a variety of pronunciation variations. So from these cluster of words of the Bharatiya language, spoken tongue, Desi Bhasha, we can recreate the word of the Vilpa spoken at that time in the 4th millennium. By a linguistic reconstruction. Khanda is Lokhanda, iron. We have seen that man, the Sinauli coffin, having the lower held between the horns, Lokhanda, Lova, Khanda. The sword was lying there by the coffin. It's a sword. So the metal is hard, Lokhanda. It's pounded to extract electrical wires. This metal gets corroded by air and water. This is the characteristic of this Loha. Lokha, iron tools, pots and pans. Lohobanda, Lohand, iron tools. Lokhand, iron tools, pots and pans. Gujarati, ironware. Marathi, Lokhand, iron. So this is how we can reconstruct the words that were spoken by those people at this point in time to effectively decipher the symbolized writing system. So symbols can be interpreted in the language of the spoken people. That is decipherment. Can be achieved. Kanda sword of all Indo-Aryan languages and Kandam. So you call it Tamil, you call it Telugu, you call it Kannada, you call it Prakritam, call it Vegeta. Doesn't matter. But they were all unified at that point in time in a Sprague Bund language union. Next, please. Lohara Bhatta. Now look at this. How that idea expanded into new seals. It's a beautiful seal where the person standing holding a sword on his shoulder. And he is pictured like sign 17, which is a loa. A ficus leaf is shown as the body, the shoulder above the breast. So we have been characteristic way of dignifying a loa, lohakara, a god guarding this metal, guarding this wealth. And look at the pictures, variations of the writing system. One picture shows clearly a person standing with a sword held on his shoulder. Clearly a person with a face, like an anthropomorph. That becomes a symbol with the Noah. So now the artist is trying to explain the nature of the person and the artifice that he was capable of dealing with. He was capable of dealing with Loha, ficus leaf, Loha. So he was a metal artificer, the metal warrior. Bata is a warrior. Bata also is a worshipper. Bata is also furnace. Bata is iron. So look at the words as they evolved in the Bronze Age of this linguistic area. So now we are able to see the same idea that we see on the Sinauli coffin signified in a number of seals. In this particular case, a seal with about 6 profiles of 6 types of animals. And again, M256, which shows the profile of 2 unicorns together with the link chains, Rohala. And what links these 6 animals on this remarkable circular seal? A ladder. Ladder with steps, a curved ladder. Sheni is a ladder. State tree is a ladder. Similar sounding word is Sheni guild. Similar sounding word is Shettita. Shetti, an office of the treasurer or wholesale merchant. Shetti, Shestin, Shetti in Tamil. Shetti, wholesale merchant. Shet in Sindhi. Shetti. So the ladder, it signifies that he is a merchant dealing with these resources. What resources? Unicorn we have seen, thinking ornament goldsmith, ornament gold worker. Tiger we have seen, smelter, kolhe, kul, tiger, kolhe. Then we have seen the bull, tangar. Tangar is a takara, blacksmith. The other places are not very clear. One could be a tiger, kul, kula, headman of a guild, or kolhe, smelter. And now, what unites all this, including the stairs that link all these 6 animals? That person standing there, Rohakar. So a metal worker dealing with resources and reading them as a Sreni, as a guild. So now look at the meaning that is signified. A guild is signified, a group of workers working together for a common objective. And a merchandise is signified, a merchant is signified by Seti, and a warrior, furnace warrior. A furnace dealing with these resources. So goldsmith has his furnace, smelter has his furnace, Takura blacksmith has his furnace, the Smithian forge and so on. So now look at the importance of the symbols. The semiotics yield meaning. In symbols that have been designated using the same language, composite, the spoken language groups from which we can identify the old Mega word, common word in the linguistic area, the Spragbund linguistic area, we are able to recreate the activity that is going on, a life activity that is going on, which gets recorded, to get documented as wealth ledgers. So it will be wrong to look upon only the text script and then say these are alphabets. Wrong. It's falsified because a lot of other information is contained in the message. Inscription is a message. M296 is a message. That circular seal is a message. That message has to be conveyed. Message has to be interpreted. Just not looking at arbitrarily assigning some kind of a phonetic equivalence, substitution, and then say we have word. No, that's not discernment. The discernment is communicating the semantics of the entire message that has been communicated on an artifice, like a dancer or a scene. Okay, next please. So now we are looking at the importance of writing system, the form and function of the writing system. Now look at this again. Let us go through it in detail. That famous circular seal. Setita. Fixed wealth resources are legend. By the ladder. Ladder, which is a guild. The guild of 6 major resources. A guild of 6 major resources is worked by the office of the treasurer, Seti. Seti ladder, Seti wholesale merchant. What are the 6 animals? 6 resources. Konda young bull, singing, ornament goldsmith, ornament gold, copper gold. Then ox, Bharat ox, Bharat Baran, mixed alloy, 5 copper, 4 zinc, 1 tin, alloy worker. Then a goat, Meka in Telugu is goat. Simple sounding word is Melakku copper, Mechamuka, copper in Sanskritam. Then it has got the goat has horns of a bull. Code, horns. Code, workshop. Dangar, bull. Dangar, blacksmith. So, blacksmith, smelter. Then fifth animal, we can assume it to be a ranko, antelope. Ranko, tenor. Sixth animal, again assumed to be an arana, a wild buffalo. You know, sounding word arana, smithy. Or it could be rango, buffalo. Rango, pewter. You know, sounding word, ranga, tin. Naga, vanga, ranga. Ramga, Pakratam tin, Ranga, pewter, tin solder, rank, Rana, solder, Ranga, solder, smelter, Ranga, Rang, tin, pewter. So it could either represent a smithy forge or a pewter smithy forge, a tin smithy forge. So now we are able to see these 6 resources constituting a guild held mastered by that person carrying the staff or sword on his shoulder, warrior. But now we can see we are able to reconstruct the language and the speeches of that time using the languages of the present from a variety of languages and put them back in reconstruction. So a retroactive recreation of the language spoken at that time, which is very close to decipherment. Next, please. Now look at this. The same sign 17 is shown as a remarkable feature on this M1653. The man with a sword on his shoulder, very clear, Anthropomorph. And in front of him is a curve with something like a pupillar eye. What does it signify? It signifies something of a great importance. It signifies a kautilika, a blacksmith working with furnace of bronze castings. Kutila is a cow. Kutila katil is bronze. So is a bronze worker with a furnace. This standing person, the sword, is a bata, warrior. Bata is a furnace. Next, please. So now we have seen the picture of the M417, the circular message. You understood to be a charioteer, a warrior, a distributor, a member of the class of wheelwrights, working with resources, 6 variety of resources and resource persons, creating the guild. Okay? Next, please. Now we can see how the standing person with holding some goods on his shoulders, carrying 2 pots hanging down on either side, with a variety of variations in the writing system, clearly shows like a water carrier. There's a very beautiful word in Telugu called kuti. Kuti means a water carrier. Kuti in Santali means a smelter. This water carrier symbol signifies a smelter. Now we can clearly see the importance of the sign 12. Sign 12 is Kuti, water carrier. Symbol surrounding Kuti is smelter furnace. And let's look at the other signs of the seal. Top is the rhombus. Sign 367, Kanach, corner. Corner is indicated. Whether corner, one corner, or four corners. Kanchu is bell metal. Then the two strokes. Sign 89, Sal is a splinter. Symbol surrounding Sal, workshop. Sign 87, two long strokes. Dula 2, Dul, metal casting. Sign 2 to 325, the ficus leaf. With the branch shown. Low copper. Khanda, jag. Khanda is a jag. Khanda is equipment. So Loha equipment. Low Khanda. He is dignifying Low Khanda by that modification of the locus leaf 325 with a notch. Now we have seen sign 12. So the smelter furnace producing these artifacts, and together with the unicorn and the standard device, we have seen the unicorn and standard device constitute a transport system, a merchant maritime trade activity, trade documentation on a cargo boat. Cargo boat carried by the boatman. He has got a kantala on the shoulder. Kantala means shoulder bag. Kantala means maritime. Maritime trade is being involved. Okay? Kuti. Next, please. Now, joining of the parts of the body. You have seen how the one horn is joined to the body of a young bull. You have seen how the top lathe is joined to a bottom container, joining container. That's called Sangada. Sangada is joining of parts. Sangada also means a float. Sangata. Sangada in Marathi. A float composed of two canoes or boats joined together. Sangada is joined together boats, which becomes a dhow, a maritime boat, which can convey cargo. So this Sangada word, it signifies joined parts, signifies a cargo boat. So the device in front of the unicorn is Sangada, a joined parts. Whose Sangada is it? Lathe worker and churning worker at the bottom, and also a Kamatamu. Kamatamu is a portable furnace. Portable furnace is being carried together with the lathe. So lathe is used for creating perforations in the beads. Okay? So the standard device is a signifier of a lathe worker working with Kamatamu, portable furnace, and also a Jangada, which is a double cano, joined parts. So this is how interpretation of the symbols can be called Sanketa Bhasha or Samna Bhasha or semiotics are signified in this writing system. And we have seen the very famous chain, Kadi chain, link of a chain. It can also mean a Kadi, a chain, a hook. Kadio can be a mason, a bricklayer. The core glyph is another bricklayer, joined parts. So it could be a mason. He's the head of the establishment, artifice group, the guild, working with bricklaying and so on. That may be signified by these 6 animals joined together into a guild. Next, please. Now we can get back to the Rakasi, copper hieroglyphs, artwork. See, we are dealing with artwork. We are dealing with interpretation of art. Art appreciation, to be able to understand the meanings of this writing system. Next, please. We can get back to that. Very colorful pictures of the same. It also becomes a logo for a great movie called Mohenjo-daro. Next, please. We have seen that beautiful M1653. Bata warrior, that is a Bata furnace. Symbol sorting word, dealing with Kutila bent, Kuti curve, Kutika bent, Kutila Katil means bronze, 8 parts copper, 2 parts tin. Kutila Arakota, brass. Old English R, brass, copper, bronze. Old Norse, iron, brass, copper. Ivory, iron, brassy. Astira. So now we see iron, brass, ivory, fish also shows ivory, brass, copper. Astilla, katir, tin pewter. Gujarati katir, pewter. Hindi katil, tin pewter. Katil, tin, Marathi. Katle, large tin vessel, Marathi. So he's a hunter. You can also look upon as a hunter. He's a blacksmith. Bata, working, metal caster, dul, metal casting. So this imagery evolves into a Jagadio. Nayar, Nagara. Nagarata means Nagara merchants. Nayar is a similar sounding word. Nayar military guard, Jangadio, Sangaram is the evolved meaning, semantically expanded meaning given to this person standing with a sword on his shoulder. Jangadio. So he's a military guard carrying the cargo, responsible for the cargo. A person responsible for the cargo is so called Karani. The rim of a jar, Karani. Supercargo, responsible for the cargo assigned to him. So he's a military guard carrying the cargo and responsibly steering it along in a maritime trade. Next, please. Settita. Setti is a fantastic word. Look at the number of languages in which this word occurs again and again and again. M417, ladder we have seen, shiny ladder, shady hill, shade tree ladder, shiti, chaitra, ladder. Compared to extreme Indo-Aryan languages. Shade tree, lion ladder. Shiti, shady, line, row. Sheti, shady, line, row. A particular progression of arithmetical figures. Hair, Kashmiri, ladder. Hairy. Sir, hair. Similar sounding is Shetty, Chetta, Shrestin. Foreman of a guild, treasurer, banker, city man, a merchant, wealthy merchant, Shetty. Rajagaha, Shetty, merchant of Rajagaha. Varanasi, Shetty, merchant of Banaras. Senapada Shetty, commercial man of the country. Shetty Gahapati, the families of Shettis. Chettana, position of a Shetty. Hereditary. Shettanu Shetty, treasurer, and under treasurers. Vinaya, for polytext. Shettita is derived from Shetty as an abstraction, the officer of a treasurer of a wholesale merchant, Shettita. Semantics are a group of animals that contributes in that circular seal or Pashu, Pasaramu, Pasara, Spriti, killed. 6 of them are shown. 6 is Bata, 6 also means furnace. So 6 furnaces, dealing in 6 sources, held by this person, warrior, Bata, furnace. Next, please. Now look at this seal, a circular seal with dotted circles at the back, and 3 lines, and carrying something like 6 heads of the same type of animal. So Bata is 6. Bata is furnace. Furnace of what? Aranku, I don't know. Or it could also be Kur, Kar, furniture, Kar, blacksmith. 6 blacksmiths. 6 furnaces of a blacksmith. Or 6 Bata furnace, blacksmith. Blacksmith furnace. So the guild community of smiths or masons evolved into a smithy of nations called Harashat Agoyim in Israeli Hebrew. Harshat Agayam, a smithy of nations. So these artificers were moving all over the place. They were creating chariots, mentioned in a Bible document. Called the Smithy of Nations. Harshat Agoyim is Karoshti. Goya. Karoshti, Gutra. Karoshti, guild. Pig, Karoshti. Karaushti, donkeys. Lips, donkey lips. Karoshti. A tree is shown together with these 6 animals. Kuti is tree, Kuti is metal. Mukha, face, profile of the animal is shown. Mukha, Moha, furnace produce. What? Milakku, copper. Face of a goat. Meka. The circle can be with vritti, circle. Pota is dotted circle. Pota is pouring, metal casting. So metal casting profession signified by this seal. Next, please. Now we can make a comparison between M417 seal and the Dilmun seal. Here there are 6 different animals are shown. Here the face of a similar animal is shown, that of a goat, with the circle center emerging with arrows, with something like light emerging from a sun's rays. Arka, sun's rays. Arka is copper and gold. Similar sounding word, Arka. Bata, Milakku, Baran, different 6 workers. Here there are 6 goat workers, copper workers, dealing with copper and gold. Next, please. Now we can get back into a construction of the seal M417. The Dilmun seal is the National Museum of Bahrain, accented on the throat of the animal, Melka throat. Similar sounding rebus, Melaka, company guild. Arka, we have seen sun's rays. Arka is sun's rays. Similar sounding word, Arka also means copper and gold. Copper and gold workers, signified by these seal impressions, seals, messages, inscriptions. So, Dilmun seals are Arka sun's rays. Similar sounding Arka, copper, gold. Goat is Mreka, goat. Similar sounding Milakku, copper. Then 6 of them, 6 faces, 6 Bata, 6. There was Bata furnace, Bata iron. Melka throat, Melaka company guild. Stem or a stalk is shown together with the stalk together with the 6 animals. Dant is a stem or a stalk. Dhatu is minerals. Dhatu mineral ore. Then there's a drop. So dot in circle. Kana is a drop. Similar sounding is Kana wealth, goods, possessions. So this copper company guild producing the wealth articles. This is semantics. So we are able to understand the semantics underlying language signified by these symbols. In a visual language, similarly, Vrechata Vikalpa, picture writing system, Chitragupta. Chitragupta is a secret writing system. Gupta. See, it's hidden. What is hidden the way the picture is presented. The hiding is the artistic. It's artistry. Artistry also is a stylized way of dealing with things, a magic. But not magic. You are clearly using the symbols to signify messages through the language spoken by the people, Desi Bhasha, which I call Meluha or Blecha. Blecha is a language occurs in the Mahabharata, spoken between Vidura and the Pandavas and Yudhishthira. With Yudhishthira and Kanaka, a minor, who explains to Yudhishthira how Duryodhana is trying to destroy the Pandavas in a lakh house. The language used in this conversation is called Blecha. Blecha language, very categorically spelled out in Mahabharata. So Mecha Meluha was a language spoken by the people. So we call this Deshi Bhasha Meluha. Meluha is recorded in cuneiform texts. So that's why we call it Meluha decipherment of the script of the induscript Nishita Vikalpa. Next, please. Melaka, we have seen the throat, the neck of an animal. Melaka is assembly or company. Look at the number of language words explaining the word Melaka. Mela, meeting. Pali, Mela. Prakrit, Mela. Mulu, Kashmiri. Mela, Lana, assembly. Mel, union. Punjabi, Mel, friendship. Mella, crowd. Fair. Meli, wedding guest. Kumauni, Mel, meeting. Melo, task. Mela, fair. Mela, Mela Karta, Mela Ragam. So, Mela is a fair, Hindi. Mel, agreement. Melo, allotted task. Mela, fair. Marwadi, Melo, embrace. Melo, agreement. Gujarati, Marathi. Melo, assembly, fair. Marathi, Mela. Medu, Sindhi, crowd. Melo, assembly, fair, agreement. Medi, deputation. Mela, meeting, collection. Melo, market fair. Mela, collection, congregation fair. So at that point in time, Mela committee referred to a union or a company of people working together. Now that's why this circular wheel, spoken wheel called Sark becomes Arka and gets recorded on the throat of the animal on this seal on M712. Okay? It also has got other text writing, Kanach, corner, Kanchu, Belmeto, Sal, splinter, Rebus, Sal, workshop, Belmeto, workshop, Kulmo, three of them, 3 strokes, Kulmi, Smithy, forge, Kolom, rice plant, Kulmi, Smithy, forge. So these are the text writing, text script, and the visual systems of spoken wheel and the neck of a unicorn can symbolize a guild of merchants engaged in maritime trade. Next, please. Now we can see how these symbols are used in other inscriptions. Here is the K26 Kalimangan inscription, where the unicorn is shown in front of a rim of a jar, Kannada trade, Kannada merchant, Kannada scribe, and ficus leaf with a Khanda, Lokhanda. So Lokhanda, Kannada. So Lokhanda, iron trade, Kannada trade. Who is dealing with it? The person holding Kantala, maritime boatman. Who is it? Singin, ornament goldsmith. Okay? Then another seal which contains 2 ficus leaves. Why 2? Dula is 2. Dul, metal casting. Next, please. Now we can get back to that. We have seen that before. How a warrior for furnace deals with Kutila Katil, production of bronze, and alloy metal. Copper and tin alloy. Next, please. Next, please. We have seen these 6 animals, famously presented in the logo of the Mohenjo-daro Bollywood movie, signifying the guild operating the resources. Now we are able to explain the context in which the film can be understood. There were a group of artificers traveling all over Europe, merchandise carried on boats, the maritime trade, along the rivers, along the Persian Gulf, Tigris Euphrates, and all. They were also dealing with tin coming from the Far East, Mekong River Delta. Next, please. You have seen this before? A blacksmith dealing with bronze. Blacksmith with a furnace dealing with bronze. Next, please. You have seen this before? Same thing, Shettikta. The office of the merchant, office of the wholesale merchant. So that's why that ladder is shown. Next, please. You have seen this before? Next, please. Now, two persons are standing. Same persons with spread legs, body stature. Why two? Tul are two. Tul metal casters. They are metal casters. Metal casters, Karanikas. Metal caster, helmsman. Metal caster, steersman. Working with that harpoon type sword. Pota is the daughter circle. It's a gold bead. Pota is a bead. Pota in Telugu means metal casting. Molten cast. Cast in metal. Pota. Pota Raju. Very famous memory in Andhra. So Pota is a drop. Pota also is Kadi. Earth. So because the picture shown with the two persons standing can also be kuti, a bunch of twigs. Kuti in Western, in Atharvaveda, kuti is a smelter furnace. So smelter furnace, metal casters. Next, please. Now we can see that beautiful animal. Sign 391 on the neck of the animal. Why is it shown on the neck of the animal? It's important. Melka, throat. Melaka, company. So, ornament goldsmith company. Dealing with Kanchu, bell metal, workshop, smithy forge. And another comparable seal with two parts. We see the rim of a jar, Kannada, shown with a lid. That lid is Musa, to cover. Similar sounding word is Musa, crucible. Uriya. Muha, furnace output. So it could represent a furnace output traded. Or it could be a crucible output traded. Crucible steel may be traded. We don't know. You can only make a guess. So that there are symbolic representations which can be interpreted as dealing with metalwork, metal trade. Maritime metal trade. Because of the presence of the standard device in front. It's clearly a sagada. Joint parts. Sagada is double cannon. Okay. Next, please. Now we have physical evidence from archaeology of circular platforms. Moja is a circular platform. Moja is a circular village. So this could have been a Moja of Harappa. Each platform would have had a hut, roof on top, where the people are working. It could be a patada. It could be a fada, metals manufacturing. A circular platform working place, Moja. Next, please. Now you can see how the settings are evolving. In K51, a composite sign is created. The sign of the Sestin car, Shetty, Guildmaster, is tied to some kind of a loop or a fish. A fish tied to the two signs ligature to the Sheshti. It's a mint. Sign 24 is a mint. So a mint, Shestin. Mint, Ayo, Kamata, mint. Ayo, fish, fin, mint. Ayo, Kamata, mint. Guildmaster, the Ayo, Kamata, mint. Signified by the Kalibangan 51, the impression. Fish grapheme. Alloy metal, Kambatam. Kamata is fish fin. Kambatam is coinage mint. Shestin car. So coinage mint, blacksmith guild, guildmaster. Signified by K51. Next, please. So this is the graphology of the writing system. So the graphology of the writing system, which you can see very clearly on M712, with the emphasis on the throat, where a clear circular wheel with 6 spokes, ara. Ara, brass we have seen in European languages. Kantala, boat. Kantala, the pannier on the shoulder of the unicorn. The Kantala, the bottom churning container. Kantala is also maritime. Sarka is the spoked wheel. Arka, copper gold is the civil sounding word. Next, please. Now we can see that beautiful two-sided seal, H1144, which also contains that remarkable expression, expanded seal of a rim of a jar with a Musa crucible lid, Musa cover, Musa lid, Musa crucible, or it could be Muha, quantity of iron produced by the smelter. The to Kulhe, looking back, Kramara, Kamar, blacksmith, with a person sitting on top of a tree. Who is that? Heraka, spy, Heraka, metal infusion. And we have got this famous seal, showing the person with the spread horns, like that of Markor. And rim of a jar is shown as a sign on this remarkable seal. Next, please. Now we can analyze the fine artistry of the sign achieved with the lid and variations of the sign 352 and 353. Which are combination signs where the rim of a jar is tacked to a rice plant, Kolmo, Kolmo Karna, Kolmo account, Kolmo trade, Smriti force trade. Next, please. You see the crucible account, crucible Karna, Karanam. We've seen the Purnanur text which shows it's an accounting system. So this is a cargo of the timber and also Bharat alloy metal castings. Eraka, ergo. So people trying to fight in the jungle clearance, held back by a person holding them back, preventing them from fighting, ergo. Jungle clearance, Eraka, metal castings. Alloy metal castings of Heraka. And the person with a pot, a bhata, a adorant, a praying person in front of the tree. Kuti is a tree. Kuti is smelter with a pot, rimless pot. Bhata, iron furnace. Bhata iron, bhata furnace. Bhata. Held by this adorant, bhata. Bhata is a adorant. Is a prayerful worshipper, worshipping the tree, worshipping the smelter, which is the wealth giver. Next, please. So now we can get back to the sign with which we started. Standing person, sign number 1. Made body, made iron, meadow, merchant. Medet, iron. Look at the Santali words. Medet chena. Ispat Mati, Medet, Dul Medet, that's iron. Medet Kanda, iron implements. Medet, bed, Undarika language, Santali language. Karnaka, dual leg spread, Atharvaveda, 2133, spread legs. Single sounding word, Karana scribe. Karnaka, helmsman, steersman. Next, please. You have seen this M296 before, which signifies wealth of goods and possessions being carried by the Rohala. Okay? You've seen this before. Next, please. It's a caravan. Kanaka. Rohala, link up chain, Katolo, vessel. Yes, Kanda. Next, please. Rings of the neck of the unicorn. Kodia, Kode. Kode Doda, Telugu. Kode Kadu, young man. What is your word? Young fellow. Very enterprising young man. Youngsters creating wealth of the nation. Kotia, seafaring vessel. Next, please. Shringin, horn, singin, singi, ornament gold. Singin, forward thrusting, spiny horn. Two of them, Rohala. Principal link in the chain. Two of them, Dula, Dul, metal casting. Rohakara. Next, please. Two heads. Why two heads? Looking like this. Dul, Dula pair, Dul, cast iron, metal casting. Dul medet, we have seen cast iron. Dul to cast metal, mold. A mold for metal casting. Singi, horn, young bull. Singi, ornament goldsmith. There are also expressions available in the literature. Next, please. Now we can see the two links of a chain emerging out of the bottom part, which has got dots. Koti are dots. Pellets. Koti is silver. Koti was laterite wars. And the famous sign of the ficus leaf with a variation. Kammata, kammat comb, ficus. Kambatam coinage. So look at how the words are able to ring like symbols, are able to create tones of the language that was spoken at that time. Next, please. Then we can see the variation of the image of a kamatamu, a portable furnace being carried by the pan in a procession. A furnace in Telugu very specific. Kamatamu, portable furnace for melting precious metals. Kamatam. Agasalavani kompati. Very clear. So the goldsmith is at work. He is creating these artifacts. He is creating a cargo and is being carried on a maritime boat. Now. And they are working together as a mint. They constitute a mint. Where people work together, kamatidu. The goldsmith caste people work in a kambatamu, mint, coinage. There are coiners at work in a mint. Next, please. So now we can see the test script of the famous seal of M1387. Kanach. The four corners are marked. Then circular spoked wheel is shown. Arka. Bell metal. Arka, copper and gold. And ligature, body. Body is worker in copper and wood, iron and wood. Yes, alloy metal. Kanda arrow. Kanda equipment. From a mint. From a temple. Kolel, temple. Kolel, smithy forge. Next, please. So we can see each of these signs. The last sign being clearly representing Kolel, smithy, temple. Next, please. Ayas, arrowhead, arrow, Kanta is arrow, Kanta is equipment. Ayas, fish, Ayas, alloy metal, Airi, fish, Airi, iron. Next, please. See the temple, Sign 242, Kolel, Smithi Temple, Kota language. It also, similar sounding word is Kolimi, Smithi. Kol, working in iron, blacksmith. Kollan, blacksmith. Kollan, blacksmith, artificer. Kolmo, furnace. Kolmi. Kamsawad, Kamsarawad. Bronze worker. Next, please. Chains, links we have seen before. Kadio could be a mason. Next, please. Kataka can be the capital of a city. Kataka, Katak, link of a chain. Katakam could be a caravan. A caravan of these workers together. So the guild workers are working together, sharing the wealth among themselves. With all the members of the group. Whether it is a farmer, whether it is an artificer, whether it is an engraver, whether it is a brass worker, all of them share. That is the nature of the guild. Shreni Dharma. Shreni is a guild. Next, please. Kamatamu, portable furnace. Sangatta, a float. So look at the imageries conveying enormous amount of meanings from these languages. So now starting from the Sinauli copper coffin, we are able to see how the corpora contains a lot of inscriptions from which you can consistently compose a consistent narrative of wealth creating activities of the guild, which created the only wealthiest nation of the world at that point in time. By one common era, India accounted for over 30% of the world's wealth. China accounted only for 24%, according to Angus Madison, who did a study for European Union, a university historian from Cambridge University. That's all the wealth is created. Next, please. Twisted, Meda, twisted horns, Meda twisted, crumpled, Medha is Dharam, Medha is Yagna. Next, please. Melaka we have seen, assembly, all the languages of our country. Next, please. Next, please.
Sir, the
Now,
presentation finished.
when it comes to the summary presentation is this. What have we seen so far? We have seen a number of visuals. What have we seen? We have seen a decipherment process enabled by the language repertoire of more than 25 languages of our country, which are now differentiated into 25 languages. Doesn't matter. At that point in time, 4,000, 5,000 years ago, they were all working together in a guild, company, working together, assembly. They were creating artifacts. They were merchants going all over the place, all over Europe. Trading, maritime trade, Karanam. Then, Tolkappiyam records a remarkable explanation for the creation of the word Karanam. Puyum Muruvam Thonriya Pinnar, Iyar Yathanar Karanam Enbar. When mistakes occurred, when mistakes in trade occurred, it was necessary for the scholars to evolve a composite accounting system. A Kannada accounting system was evolved. Kannada trade accounting system was evolved. So there can be some kind of controls. So when a group is working together, there's got to be an administrative mechanism which are provided by these Kannadas. Kolakarani is a very famous statement, famous statement of a great professional. See, the Kalakarani was accounting for the village produce being distributed to all the people, not only among the farmers, among all the artisans of the village. The Kalakarani was responsible for documenting the distribution of the produce. So beautiful system of people working together, people speaking together, observing one from another, and creating a spragbund, a Desi Bhasha. So this is what we are learning from the script. We are learning that the script was a unifying force, unified the nation, and unified the working force, created a guild of workers who created together artifacts which are shared in a composite manner. Sharing. The Kulakarna's work was to share, distribute. All the produce, all the profits. It's not for only the person producing or the merchant. Merchants also donate liberally. The Shettis were famous in donations. Creating temples where people go and worship together. So the togetherness of the people, the creation of a union, creation of a nationhood, creation of a cultured entity, working together, speaking together, creating wealth together, and sharing it. This is the beauty of the writing system. This is the beauty of the tradition that we have had, which is seen in a number of inscriptions we have seen so far. So the Sinauli coffin showing the Anthropomorph can lead us into an art appreciation of the beauty of the culture signified by the earliest anthropomorphs, the earliest writing systems, the earliest epigraphs of the world that were created. This is 3300 BC. Earlier by 100 years before the tags, ivory and bone tags of Abydos, Egyptian hieroglyphs. Looks as though they also use some of the symbols like elephant, tree, which are typically induscript symbols on those ivory tokens. People agree that the tokens were signifiers of some resources being obtained from different places into the treasury of the monarch, the emperor in Egypt. So this working system traveled through the Red Sea, which we have seen in Sukna. There is a shipwreck of a sewn boat from Kerala being found there, carrying copper, bronze, tin articles. Metal castings, Sirapadu lost wax casting techniques used in the dancing girls, signals, the metalware that has been made. All these are well creative activities. The brassware, the bronze weapons, the tin weapons, the tin metals, metalware. So these articles now can be matched with the archaeological finds, the locations where they have been found, the traditions that continued in these places, and all over the country. Where the exchange that was taking place, trade exchanges that were taking place for resources and also for finished products. So trade creates wealth. Shared wealth creates an opportunity for people working together, creating a nation with a cultured identity, a cultural unity, a shared value system, which are recorded in our great texts right from the Rigveda time downwards, where the one profound message that conveyed is share, sacrifice. Don't keep everything for yourself. Don't be God by aggrandis. Dharma must be shared. Whatever you produce, share it with everybody. So this beautiful system of sharing, the major component of the dharma. Dharma is just donate, free, give donate. For all, we got limited lifespan, use it well. So this was the cultural framework, the spiritual framework that evolved over a period of time, which have given incredible solidity for this rashtra. Rashtra is what? Where people work together to create the wealth. Rashtriya Suktam is a creation of wealth document. Veneration of the artificers, artisans, thrusters. Thrust. They are the people who are producing this wealth, not for themselves, to share with everybody. This beautiful message of the induscript writing system has to be understood in its overall context. And we can now interpret history in the context in which India became the largest contributor to the world GDP. How did it happen? Over millennia, this has been evolved. This culture signified by the induscript is a very magnificent resource available to us as evidence for the Shettis, not to quote the Shettiars, the merchants. Nagarata, they are called. Nagara. They are from their towns. But They are Nagaras, Nayars. They are treasure gods. They guard the treasure. They create treasure. They share with the wealth with the people, members of the community, for the larger benefit of the people. This is the sum and substance of the message that we have received from our ancestors who wrote this visual language so beautifully. Now we are able to get a reasonably good understanding, a good handle on the understanding of what the messages they have conveyed to us, which will stand the test of time. This is a tribute to Devi Saraswati. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, sir. We are closing the session for today. We will meet in the next week at the same time. Those who are watching, please like the stream and also subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. See you in the next week. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Namaskar.
Namaste.